Hey YouTube, Sax9445 here with my deck profile for my Salvo build. I took it to locals on Saturday and I split for first with it, which at my locals is pretty much winning because hardly ever is the last match played out. Anyway, first two Black Salvo. You run two because three is too much. One is obviously not enough or justifiable to call it a Salvo deck. This guy's a pretty cool tuner. It's a lot like Debris Dragon in its way that it just brings something back and makes it instantaneously easy to summon something. Your typical target is either going to be Black Rose Dragon or Scrap Archfiend. So either for like an oh shit button or a beats sort of situation. Next, 3 Dekoichi. Your only Salvo target in the deck, he's amazing. He's either a +1 if you flip summon him, or a 1-for-1 if he is destroyed by battle. So that's always nice, and either way, as long as he's going to the grave, you are setting yourself up for a lot of potential devastating plays with Salvo. Next, probably the MVP of Saturday, Battle Fader. This card is simply amazing. He turned so many games around. Basically, I've had people just attack me with a full field of monsters, so confident that they're going to win. And I just dropped this, and they'd be confident that they'd be winning next turn. But I had this in hand, Salvo, Deco, Black Rose. The field's pretty even again. And then with triple Fader comes triple Caius. Typically I object to triple Caius, but this deck has many sort of random drops to just come out like Fader, Sorcerer, and Cyber Dragon. So 3 worked very well. Another MVP of the deck. This guy just made people rage face. Next I ran a pretty awful card. I think Gores is a fairly awful card, but I needed another monster. I felt he was more trustworthy in this deck than Tragodia, who is my typical go-to summon when you take battle damage monster. But Gores was just better, because my levels are kind of zwonky to begin with to just randomly discard for Tragodia. And at the same time, I barely run any back row, so I may as well just use this awful, awful card. Sangan searches like Salvo, Plague Spreader, Dimensional Alchemist, Dekoichi, Fader, Plague Spreader, not going to explain anything, Dark Arm Dragon, and Chaos Sorcerer. The other boss monsters in the deck besides Caius. These guys, they're pretty cool. When they're dropped, they're pretty much almost an instant +1. And both of them can be very combo oriented in what you do, because if you, let's say you remove something like Black Salvo for Chaos Sorcerer Summon or Dark Arm Dragon's effect, that's fine and dandy, because if you drop a Dimensional Alchemist later, your opponent may be wary about destroying it because they'll know that that can just lead into a Black Rose Dragon or something else that can mess up their field. Dimensional Alchemist speeds up the deck. I find that him recycling the pieces of the deck and then also quote-unquote thinning your deck is worth the potential of removing something like Solemn or Mirror Force, just because I think he's that good. Also, he's a light and he works well in the deck. And then 2 Cyber Dragon, just because the Caius is the level 8 potential with Black Salvo. And it's fun to just fuck with your opponent if they have 1 or 2 machines out. Next, the spells, 2 Book of Moon, staple, 2 Sarcophagus. I typically object to double Sarcophagus, but in this deck, I found it very helpful to draw it early game, and then drawing the R1 late game and being sort of like, instead of just drawing 1 late game and being like, Yeah, grabbing Caius or Chaos Sorcerer early with this really changes how your opponent plays. They're going to be more worried about how they play because they'll know in 2 turns something big is going to come out to get them. Allure of Darkness, basic draw power. I don't know if you can consider this a tech card. I would. Dark Eruption, recycles, black salvos, Dekoichis, battle faders that's somehow made into the graveyard, like maybe Mind Crush or X-Saber Arabellum or Don Zalug, maybe even. Mind Control, you're running 3 tuners. I think that's enough for Mind Control, especially with the rate of recursion with the tuners and Dimensional Alchemist. Cold Wave? Cold Wave Black Rose is funny. True Nade also helps you just get those big push plays through. Dark Hole and Monster Reborn, both stables this format. More so Reborn than Dark Hole, but still both very powerful and useful cards. For the traps, it's all standard, bottomless removal, trap stuns to allow your large plays to go through, and then Mirror Force Torrential Solemn. Now for the extra deck, which I don't think is anything terribly fancy, but may as well because it's a synchro deck. Mistworm, Staple, 2 Stardust. I would really prefer this one to be a Scrap Dragon, but I'm working on that. Dark End, Thought Ruler. This guy's really cool. People don't give him enough credit. I mean, he's safe from Deep Prison. He's safe from Book of Moon. He's safe from Icarus, I think. I can't remember. Target 1 psychic monster. I'll need to look that up. I don't know about Icarus, actually, because he says 1 psychic monster, so I don't know if it's going to be fickle, because they could also be targeting a non-psychic. But anyway, he's fairly good late game, because if he doesn't get hit by Bottomless, and their Mirror and Torrent are gone, it's going to be difficult for your opponent to get rid of him, and while they're trying to get rid of him, he'll just keep on healing you. Red Dragon, because I just wanted to beat stick for Herald of Perfection, which sees play at my locals, so I feel confident whenever I get Red Dragon out early, because that Herald is in defense mode, so it's not like they can Honest over him. 2 Black Rose, I think 3 is overkill and ridiculous. 2 Scrap Archfiend. Catastor, Goyo, Bryo, Staples, and these 2 because of a lot of machines you run, and it's fun to keep on disrupting Machina plays. Anyway, YouTube, that's my full deck. It's not for trade or sale, and neither is the Doom Caliber mat, so please, I do not want to see any offers on them. Rate, comment, subscribe, etc., and have a good day.